deadliest weapons in history were never blades. They were invisible. You cannot dodge them. You cannot block them. They are diseases turned into weapons. And humans have done this for a very long time. The first known case is over 3,000 years old, long before anyone even knew that germs exist. This is the story of the first biological weapon. It begins in the Bronze Age with a strange gift. Around 1300 BC in ancient Anatolia, the Hittite Empire was at war with a people called the Arzawan. A deadly sickness was spreading through Hittite lands. It was likely tularemia, a disease carried by animals. We now call it the Hittite plague. Then something strange appears in the old records. Rams, wandering into Arzawan towns as if by chance. The people took them in, a gift from the gods. But the rams carried the sickness with them. Soon, the Arzawans were falling ill too. Their war against the Hittites collapsed. Many scholars think this was no accident, possibly the first weaponized plague in recorded history. Whether by design or by luck, an idea was born. Disease could do what whole armies could not, and people began reaching for that power on purpose. Take the Scythians, fierce horse archers of the steppe. Around 400 BC, they made a terrible arrow. They let vipers rot, then mixed the venom with blood and dung. They buried it until it turned truly foul. Then they dipped their arrow tips in the rot. Even a small wound could now turn deadly. The arrows carried the germs of gangrene and tetanus. The Greeks had their own dark tricks. In one war, they poisoned a town's water supply. They used a plant called hellebore, and the town fell sick. Poison the water, and thick walls no longer matter. For centuries, this was the shape of germ warfare, small, local, and deeply feared. Then, in the 14th century, it went far bigger. The year is 1346. On the Black Sea coast, a Mongol army was laying siege to the city of Caffa. But inside their own camp, a plague broke out. Their soldiers were dying by the thousands, so their commander had a horrifying idea. He loaded the plague dead into his catapults and flung the corpses over the city walls. Bodies rained down into the streets of Caffa. The plague took hold inside the city. Terrified merchants fled by ship across the sea, and they carried the sickness with them. Many believe this helped spread the Black Death, the pandemic that killed tens of millions. One siege trick echoing across a whole continent. But the deadliest chapter was still to come, and it would not even need a weapon. In 1492, two worlds collided. Europeans reached the Americas for the first time. They brought horses, steel, and something unseen. Their bodies carried smallpox, measles, and flu. Diseases the native peoples had never met before. With no immunity, the effect was catastrophic. Whole communities fell sick within days. In 1520, smallpox reached the Aztec capital. Tenochtitlan was one of the largest cities on Earth. The disease arrived with the Spanish forces, and it burned through the packed streets. Their new emperor, Cuitlahuac, caught it. He died just 80 days into his reign. Up to 40% of the city may have died. Leaders, warriors, and farmers all at once. An empire that armies could not break, disease did. Across the Americas, the losses were staggering. By some estimates, 90% of people died, one of the greatest die-offs in all human history. And here is the hard, important question. Was all of this done on purpose? For the most part, the answer is no. And the reason is strange but simple. Nobody yet knew that germs even existed. The idea of microbes was still centuries away. You cannot plan a weapon you cannot see or explain. Most of this spread was a tragic accident of contact, an invisible passenger on every ship and handshake. But not every case was innocent. Sometimes, people saw what disease could do, and they tried to use it even without the science. The clearest proof comes from 1763. At Fort Pitt in North America, under British command. The fort was surrounded by Native American warriors. During a truce, the British handed them a gift: 2 blankets and a cloth from their smallpox hospital. A trader wrote the whole plan down in his journal. "I hope it will have the desired effect," he wrote. Their commanders discussed it in letters too. General Amherst asked if smallpox could be sent among them. A reply spoke of trying to infect the tribes with blankets. It is the best documented germ attack in history. The intent, at least, is written in their own hands. Though historians still debate how well it worked, smallpox was already racing through the region, so the blankets may have added to an existing fire. Still, the willingness to try says everything. Which brings us to a story you may have heard, that children were used as living disease carriers, sent ashore on purpose to infect native towns. It is a chilling idea, and it spreads online, but here we have to be honest with you. There is no real evidence that this ever happened. No documents, no records, no proof at all. And remember, no one understood germs yet. A careful child plan would need science they simply lacked. The truth is grimmer in a much quieter way. The Great Dying was mostly an accident of contact. No villain was needed for it to happen. And that may be the most unsettling part of all. A weapon so powerful, it worked without a hand. Since then, we finally learned what germs really are, and that knowledge cut both ways. It gave us vaccines that save millions of lives, and it gave us weapons far darker than blankets. The world has since banned biological weapons, a rare promise never to weaponize disease again. Because we saw again and again what it costs, from Bronze Age rams to frontier blankets. The first biological weapon was disease itself. We just kept finding new ways to aim it. If this story gripped you, subscribe for more, give it a like, and tell us what you think below. Do you think the Great Dying was accident or intent?